Okay, so Elon wants all of the politicians to hand over their financial disclosures and bank information. So the Democrats signed an act to protect themselves from this, and they are promoting it like it's something to protect us all. Hakeem Jeffries, New York's Democrat minority and leader of the House of Representatives since 2023, he spoke about the purpose of the Taxpayer Data Protection Act. They're trying to pass this act. It's gained a lot of, publicity because after Elon had got full access to the Treasury Department information, the payment system, he threatening to, investigate their money, shutting down these other departments. They start being in fear. So they're trying to pass this act. This is the time that they're talking about as war, but this act isn't to protect us nor the Republicans. The Republicans are willing to hand over their disclosure. So why are they so afraid to hand over their financial information? There actually was the Republican. She was the chairman for the House of Treasury last year. She's one of the Republicans. It's only going to take 3 Republicans to pass this act. My name is Marcus Russell. This is the Marcus Russell Show. I said I'm going to bring you nothing but facts this week. So these are the facts. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Let's get right to it.
House Democrats have repeatedly made clear that we will work with anyone in this town to solve problems for hardworking American taxpayers and make life better for everyday Americans, particularly as it relates to driving down the high cost of living. We will work with anyone in this town. At the same time, we, of course, will continue to push back against far-right extremism that is hurting the American people, and we will continue to keep it real.
Yo, I have to pause to say I'm uncomfortable with this lady right here ears. Like she should tuck. She needs to tuck. I'm sorry. I'll probably cut that because that's distasteful. But like, look at them. She needs to. She could have put them.
With the
Just me.
American people.
She might be an
House
elf.
Republicans don't appear interested in working for
I think that's Congressman
everyday
Haley Stevens.
Americans and
She's an
solving
alien.
problems for hardworking American taxpayers. Why?
Mm.
Because they are working for Elon Musk and doing
Mm.
the bidding of an unelected, unaccountable, out of control
Mm.
billionaire puppet master. Why does
Mm.
Elon Musk and his minions need access to the names, social security numbers, addresses, birth dates, and bank account information of millions of Americans? Why does he need that information? What are they doing with it? And why aren't House Republicans stopping them?
I'm gonna answer that question for you right now. Look, Jeffries. Elon owns Apple. I don't know if you realize that. Like, so he pretty much already has all of the normal Americans' name, social security number, banking account information. Like, he's the main person. Like, I don't know if you are team Android or team Apple, but we over here, we team Apple, a lot of us. And so he pretty much everybody that I know. So everybody who has an Apple, when you very first set the phone up, you put in your email. Your email has your real information because it has to be verified. Your social security number, your birthday, all of your real information, your data that you are setting up an act to protect. Elon's got that of ours. He wants yours, Jeffries. House Republicans have already turned over all their financial disclosures. I don't see why. Oh, I know why. Because the DOJ shut down that department the other day and locked y'all out of there. And so now you want to try to pass the act, which this act messed around and passed because all they need is 2 more Republicans. But in case you didn't know, this is not to protect us. This is not an act to protect us. So he's trying to frame it like, no, this is an act to protect themselves.
They're not stopping them because they're not working in the best interest of the American people. They're simply following far-right extreme orders. That is why we are introducing the Taxpayer Data Protection Act to shield the American people from this out-of-control power grab permanently, and to make sure that the financial, personal, medical, and confidential information of the American people is protected. In that regard, I'm so thankful for the leadership of Congresswoman Haley Stevens and Congressman Sean Casten, and it's my honor to yield to Congresswoman Stevens.
Thank you.
Right. So check it. Haley Stevens, she's a Democrat from Michigan. She was formerly chief of the House of Treasury. So with Dodge, I've already going in USAD office. Next, they took down the AG department, which was basically a head over federal buildings. You know, and in every state there's federal building. The federal buildings have oversight committees, funds, departments, and so this whole department was just another department that they just send money to. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure the building can run the building, and whoever's in the building knows how much money the building needs to run a building. We don't need all these departments. Well, anyway, Treasury was next. Now, if you was going to do an audit of how much money the country spends, wouldn't you think that the first place to go to was the Treasury Department? I mean, it's obvious. You know, that's what I said. I'm going to bring the facts. So Haley Stevenson was formerly the Treasury official. Something's telling me that she knows something that's going to get dug out when she gets there. So she spearheaded this whole thing. She created several hypothetical scenarios that could come from letting someone get our information, get our personal information, letting someone rich like Elon get the information. She's got all these crazy theories, but none of them are facts. And also, when you have a government audit, this is what it should do. He doesn't really want our info. Like I said, he wants their info. So let's see what she has to say.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. It is truly serious and absolutely essential that I'm standing up here today with you as our Democratic leader in the House of Representatives, alongside our Democratic whip and our Democratic caucus chair. Democratic whip Catherine Clark, Democratic caucus chair Pete Aguilar. I think all of you in this room know them. As we seek to introduce, and we take the steps to introduce, the Taxpayer Data Protection Act. You see, during the start of a different presidential administration in a different time, I was a Schedule C political appointee in the Department of the Treasury during a true time of economic crisis for this nation. Barack Obama's swearing in January of 2009, when we were facing a Great Recession, as a Michigander, when our auto industry was staring true liquidation and bankruptcy in the face, when millions of Americans were facing job loss, in addition to housing insecurity, our financial markets were being rocked, and our insurance sector was on shaky footing. A group of us came together into the Treasury Department. It almost didn't matter what party you were. And in fact, the previous administration under George Bush kept some of his people there. We stayed together. We worked together to address this economic crisis. I was on the auto rescue team with a man named Steve Ratner. We had an initiative called the Troubled Asset Relief Program, and it was sizable dollars of federal money, of taxpayer money, to save our economy from true devastation. But no one was poking around in the Bureau of Fiscal Service. No one was seeking to get access to taxpayer data or financial information that has to do with the wires and the complication of those goods. We were standing up for people and making a difference for them. So this Taxpayer Data Protection Act, which will push back against these alarming and potentially illegal actions that are taking place, these headlines to the American people are alarming. They are absolutely alarming.
Not. We don't care.
The news writes them, but the headline is that Musk has your data, that Musk has control of the systems. As a Treasury appointee, that is unfathomable. That is totally unbelievable and wrong. So our Taxpayer Data Protection Act will seek to make sure that the payment systems don't have reckless interference, that those who have access to them can't just be a special appointee, a political appointee, as how we schedule the appointees. No, it needs to be overseen by someone who has the top security clearance, who has the credentials, who doesn't have the conflict of interest. We love our country and we want what is best for our country, and you heard our leaders say it true. We have to focus on what the American people are facing. Rising costs, home ownership, making systems work for people. We've got fantastic employment, but we've got to do costs, and that is what we are focused on. And the Taxpayer Data Protection Act will stand up to these questions and these concerning behaviors of Elon Musk. And with that, I have a colleague who I'm introducing this bill with, Sean Casten, a very accomplished member of the House Financial Services Committee and a true expert in these matters as well.
There's no need. I can explain it to you. If passed, the Taxpayer Data Protection Act will prevent and safeguard politicians' names, addresses, financial details, or any information deemed as sensitive. Also, check this out. When Dems they noted that the three rules of the Data Act are lawfulness, fairness, and transparency. Can you believe that? Transparency? That is the literal thing that you have made this act to prevent transparency. The nerve. I, I come from a Democratic family. We've been Democrats all our life. That's why I'm pointing out facts. Video after video after video, I've showed you examples of Democrats using the money for themselves. Video after video after video, I've showed you examples where they've created up organizations, these different groups to try to pursue for campaign privilege. But it's really about the money. I have never, ever in my 45 years of being alive seen hundreds of Democrats standing outside rallying for nothing. Never. They've never been outside. Never have they ever said this is war. It's been so many wars. Wars on drugs, wars on illegal immigration, war on crime, war on COVID. They never came outside for none of the wars. Now all of a sudden that your money is under investigation, you want to try to paint it like it's our data that's under investigation. No, it's your data. You know what I'm saying? We don't got nothing to hide. Let me know what you think in the comments, YouTube. I'm going to keep the facts coming for the rest of this week. Nothing but fact-based week. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Until next time.